Ykkuri Raimu.
Ykkuri Marissa.
Drinking after work is the best. I've been looking for some good whiskey lately, but I wonder if Marissa knows anything.
There are really many different types of alcohol. Today, I will be explaining about Japanese whiskey, which is famous for its high quality.
Japanese whiskey. There are so many different types that I don't know which one is good.
That's true. Just as there are famous whiskeys from all over the world, there are many whiskeys in Japan as well.
We often hear of Yamazaki and Hakushu, but there are others as well.
Of course. Today, I will introduce some trivia about Japanese whiskey.
Please take it easy.
First, let me explain the definition of Japanese whiskey.
There's a clear definition.
In fact, it is clearly set for 2021. Materials must be malt and grains, and water collected within Japan. Distilled at a domestic distillery. The unprocessed sake must be packed in wooden barrels of 700 liters or less and stored in Japan for 3 years or more. Bottled in Japan. There are 4 definitions.
There are as many as 4.
After Japanese whiskey became popular, a clear definition was established as counterfeit products began to appear. Another reason why Japanese whiskey is so popular is because it is delicate and elegant, full of rich and elegant aromas. It doesn't have as strong a smoky flavor as Scotch whiskey, but its delicate taste is one of the reasons it's so popular.
I've heard that Japanese whiskey has a rich aroma and is easy to drink. I tried it once and was very surprised, but I wondered why Japanese whiskey has such a delicate taste.
The secret lies in the aging process, which is an important process of whiskey. When aging Japanese whiskey, we use barrels made from Mizunara wood, a material unique to Japan.
Mizunara.
Yes, you can mainly smell sweet scents such as vanilla and coconut, spicy scents such as cinnamon and clove, and fragrant woods such as kiara and agarwood.
You can bring out so many scents using Mizunara. That's why it becomes an aromatic Japanese whiskey.
Let's also introduce the history of Japanese whiskey. I think knowing this history will help you enjoy Japanese whiskey. Whiskey began to be made in Japan in the 1870s, but production for sale began around 1924.
It's surprisingly recent.
Yes. If you want to know the history of Japanese whiskey, you should know about these 2 people, Shinjiro Torii and Masataka Taketsuru. These 2 worked hard to create the first Japanese whiskey in Japan, and built the Yamazaki distillery, which produces the world-famous Yamazaki whiskey. So the 2 of them took the method of making Scotch whiskey as a model and improved it to suit Japanese tastes.
Was whiskey being drunk in Japan back then?
In fact, although whiskey itself was produced, it was not widely drunk in Japan at the time. People actually started drinking whiskey in the 1950s after World War II. Around that time, Shinjiro Torii and Masataka Taketsuru began production at separate distilleries, and other distilleries were built all over Japan. Although many Japanese whiskeys are popular today, it is a relatively new alcoholic beverage with a history of less than 80 years.
Distilleries have been built in America since the 1860s, so I thought they had a similar history.
If you want to learn more about history, you should definitely go on a tour of a Japanese whiskey distillery.
I'm glad I was able to take a tour. I think there are many, but do you have any recommendations?
If you want to know more about Japanese whiskey, we recommend Yamazaki Distillery and Ykkuri Distillery. These 2 are historic distilleries built by the aforementioned Shinjiro Torii and Masataka Taketsuru. Yamazaki Distillery is located in Osaka Prefecture, Japan, and Ykkuri Distillery is located in Ykkuri City, Hokkaido.
Osaka and Hokkaido are famous places in Japan. Why are these 2 recommended?
Yamazaki Distillery is located near Osaka, a popular tourist destination. It's relatively easy to access and easy to get to even if you don't understand Japanese. And best of all, you can drink Yamazaki whiskey, which is only available there and is not available in market.
That's attractive, I can brag to everyone.
And Ykkuri Distillery is located a little outside of Hokkaido, so it's a little difficult to access.
Is it still worth going?
Of course, it's a little out of the way, but you can get there in about 2 hours from the center of Sapporo. The Ykkuri Distillery has facilities and barrels that were actually used in the 1950s. That's why you can feel the hardships and history of those days. And there you can also enjoy an unprocessed whiskey called Ykkuri, which is not sold to the general public, so it's highly recommended.
We can enjoy it there too. But is there a big difference in taste between unprocessed Japanese whiskeys and commercially available Japanese whiskeys?
There is a big difference in the richness of aroma and depth of flavor, which is a characteristic of Japanese whiskey. It's not bottled either, so it's a way to drink that makes the most of the characteristics of Mizunara barrels.
Sounds good. I really want to go there.
By the way, the Otaru Canal you pass through on your way to Ykkuri Distillery is a spectacular scenic spot, so I recommend you to go along with it. Finally, I will introduce brands of Japanese whiskey that you should know about.
I know this, Yamazaki and Hakushu are famous.
Yes, those two types are very famous. There are other recommended brands as well. For example, there is the brand name Ykkuri, which I mentioned earlier, and Taketsuru, which has the name of Masataka Taketsuru. These two types have characteristics of Japanese whiskey, but they also have characteristics of Scotch whiskey. Recommended for those who like distinctive whiskey.
There are so many different brands out there, I definitely want to try them out if I have a chance to travel to Japan.
Good. Try it. Also, maybe a bar near you has Japanese whiskey, so you might want to give it a try. Another video introduces how to ride Japanese trains and the language, so you can enjoy Japan even more if you watch it as well. Well, that's all for this video. Did you learn a little about the characteristics and history of Japanese whiskey? I will continue to introduce various aspects of Japanese culture, so if you are interested, please use this as a reference.
I learned a lot, thank you. I want to go to Japan even more. If there's anything you want to know about Japan in the comments, I'd love to hear your opinions. We'll show you information that will benefit everyone.
Please subscribe to this channel. See you again in another video. Thank you for your viewing.